I spent the last week trying to heal my social media addiction. I did what's called a dopamine detox. If you want to find out why I done it and what it actually is, you can watch the previous episode in the series. But did it work? Let's talk about it. So, what did I learn from doing this dopamine detox for the last week? It was a very interesting week, a very eye-opening week in terms of the time that I spent. And, like I said in the last episode, one of the main reasons why I actually done it was because I noticed I was spending a lot of time on my phone just scrolling. And in the first few days, I experienced withdrawals, which was very scary. It's not a good thing. Like any drug addict or, cigarette addict would experience the withdrawals when their drug or their cigarette was taken away from them. I actually experienced withdrawals. And I noticed I was checking my emails a lot. I was checking my emails like 3, 4, 5 times a day, which is, I maybe do it once a day. And to notice that, and I think you need to be sort of self-aware to be able to do that, and to be able to notice that I was replacing the dopamine that I was getting from, social media. I was replacing it with something else, which was my emails or checking the YouTube analytics. Like, I was just finding another outlet. And like I said, this was kind of scary. It was making me a little anxious. I think I knew there was people messaging me on there. One of the YouTube videos blew up, so I knew there was people going to be DMing me, asking me questions and things like that. So it was an interesting first few days. It definitely took the first few days to get used to it. I think secondly, one of the main questions I wanted to ask was it going to make me more productive? And the answer to that is yes and no. I think there were times where I was probably a little more focused in the work that I was doing. I found that I did get a little bit more work done, but probably not enough work done that I would consider doing it for that long again. I think I didn't really have any sort of outlet. Obviously I had my training, I had my practice, but I didn't really have the sort of 5-minute break here to just check Instagram or check my messages or reply to any of my friends. So was I more productive? I would say a little bit. I think it definitely gave me more time to think, and my mind was a little freer. So I came up with 2 concepts that I'm probably going to make videos about. And I think having that time where I didn't, I wasn't focusing on anyone else. I was just focusing on my theory and my concept and the framework that I was trying to think about. It was all I could think about. So in that sense, I was probably more productive in terms of thinking about content and thinking about frameworks. So was I more productive? I would say yes, but very slightly. Another thing I noticed was, again, like I said at the start, that I was experiencing the withdrawals because of the lack of social interactions. I'm in a very small town in Midwest of the United States, which means there are not a lot of like-minded individuals here. There probably are a few, and I think that's why I'm, opening myself up to these people, but there are millions of people like this around the world, and I think using social media is the best way to access these people. Like I said, that's the reason I use social media. I want to access these people, I want to connect with these people, and I realised that I have already been connecting with these cool people through the use of the social media. And when that was taken away, I kind of lacked that social connection, which was strange because, again, I go to class every day, I see lots of different people every day, but there's something about the social connection with the like-minded individuals over the internet. It's different. It really is different. And maybe it's something I need to think more about, but I enjoy that connection with the people from across the world. And when that was taken away, I struggled a little. I think it was like I said, it was an interesting time. I knew there was people messaging me from the school group that I'm in from the YouTube channel that the video that blew up. And then when I logged back on, I had like 13 or 14 Instagram DMs, and it was like, wow, I've kind of felt bad in a way, because normally I'm not great at replying to people, but you know, if you mean something to me, if you're close to me, I'm gonna reply as soon as I can. And kind of knowing that there was messages there that I couldn't reply to, it was kind of hard, and I felt like maybe the other people might think that I'm airing them or whatever. But yeah, I think social media is for being social. At the end of the day, it's for being social. It's for connecting with people from across the world. And I think if you aren't open to that, and if you're using social media in the wrong ways, then it'll negatively impact your life. But when you use it for being social, when you use it for the right purposes, it's going to be huge. It's going to be massive. So that was definitely one thing I noticed, was that when that social connection was taken away, it was hard to find that connection with other people, especially in the small town that I'm in right now. And like I said, I noticed that I was spending a lot of time on my phone over the past week, and probably in the last couple of months. I was consuming a lot of content. And one thing that I've kind of noticed was the biggest and the best creators, the people that you watch, the people that you look up to, they don't scroll Instagram. They don't scroll on YouTube. They don't have the time to be consuming content. They just create content nonstop. Maybe they have little breaks here and there where they can get inspiration from other creators, but they are not scrolling on TikTok. They are not on Instagram. They are not spending hours and hours watching self-help videos on YouTube. And that was something that I was falling into the trap of. I was consuming a lot of content. And I think now that I've started to create more on the YouTube. I'm obviously recording the podcast. We've 2 episodes done. Episode 3 is this week, and it feels a lot better knowing that I wasn't consuming a lot and I was creating more. So the balance was shifted in terms of I was creating more content, because the only way to grow your social media, to grow your brand, is to create, and I think the only way to improve your life is to just create things in the world. And when I stopped consuming, and when I realised that I was over consuming, again, it takes some sort of self-awareness to be able to notice that, and I realised that I was over consuming the content. I started creating more, and I felt a lot better with myself. I think it would be very hard to go completely cold turkey and cutting it off, because like I said, social media is the best way to grow, to share your message with the world, to get your message across to as many people as possible. The only way to do that is through social media. So I think I need to create boundaries with my social media use to be able to find the right balance of consuming and connecting with creation. And I think creation should take precedence in terms of anything that you do. That's why I'm making these videos. That's why I'm devoting an hour every day, most days, to create, to make the podcast, to make a video. I just need to find maybe a way to put that into short form, because again, I've said this many times, I don't really like short form. I like these long form videos, and short form is hard for me to make because I don't enjoy them. But I know that it's the best way to get your message across. So yeah, I think I need to just find that balance. It's really that simple. You need to create boundaries, and like I said, use it for the right purposes. Create and connect rather than consume. Comparing to others is what makes social media bad. I am very guilty of this, of looking at other 21-year-olds on social media, 22-year-olds on social media who are retiring their parents, or buying Lamborghinis, or living in penthouses in Miami, and it's like, it's hard to know that you're so far behind them. And I think you obviously fall into a sort of jealousy and not a hatred, but like I want to be there and I'm not there. So having that framework in mind, having that conscious thought of I'm not where I want to be, or they're so much further ahead than I am, is what makes social media a bad thing. Social media, people only post their wins. People never post the losses. And I mean, that's just how it is. I'm not going to post the loss. That's just, like I said, how it is. And I think understanding that you're only seeing their best version is key, is so important, because you can't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. And these people probably never posted their losses, of course, so you're only going to see their wins. And it's only through deep dives and through actual conversations with people is when you understand and when you learn about the losses that they faced. So I think continuing to compare yourself to other people who are more successful than you is what makes social media not a good thing. And I think it's important to curate your feed to people that you aspire to be like, and change that jealousy to I will get there, or I will achieve that, or I will own that car, or that he has a great life and I want to have the same life as them. And unfollow the people who are going out and partying every night on social media, or unfollow the meme accounts, or unfollow the anyone else that doesn't benefit your mission. I think it's harsh, but it has to be done. We spend so much time on these devices on social media, so it's important that you're only seeing things that are going to benefit you in your life. So curate your feed to the life that you want to live, and that's what I've done. And if you're one of the few that I've unfollowed, I'm sorry. I just don't really care, and I just don't really see the benefit of me following. And like I said, it's harsh, but it's just how it is. If you want to be successful, you need to surround yourself with successful people, and I think only seeing successful people on social media can be hard at the start, but when you change the mindset to I'm jealous of what they have to I want to achieve and I will achieve what they have, a massive shift happens. So to finish up, would I try this again? Yes, I think so. I think it was beneficial to learn about myself, to test myself, because it was quite hard. I think doing things that are hard, and when you do things that are hard, you will reap the rewards of the discipline and the discipline that you develop from abstaining from these things. It's the same with diet. It's the same with, a cold shower every morning. It's doing a repetitive task to reap the benefits maybe later down the line. So I learned a lot. I learned a lot this week about myself, about my social media use, and I think it was beneficial in that sense. There were negative aspects to it, like I missed a bit of news like that I probably would have seen, that was important, and I didn't maybe connect with some friends that I wouldn't have associated or I wouldn't have contacted like regularly. But I think too much of one thing is a bad thing, and we always say that social media is good. It has great use cases, like I said, for connecting people, for creating, for getting your message across to thousands, millions of different people. But when you use it too much and when you consume too much content, it can be very, very bad. And I need to change that. That's something that I'm working on at the moment, is to find that balance again. Create and connect more than I consume. And it's hard. It's very hard, especially when you open your phone and Instagram is right there. So one thing that I've done is I've removed Instagram from my homepage, but it still means I just slide across and tap on it or whatever. But yeah, I think next time I would try it, I would have a specific task to do, because I'm learning Bubble right now. I'm finishing the course that I'm doing, and I think next time if I have a specific task that I know is going to take 3 or 4 days, then it would be very beneficial, because I could say to myself, okay, I'll go back on social media when I have this task finished. So yeah, I definitely think it was beneficial. I think you should definitely try it. I don't think there's a case where you should do an extended period of time, maybe like a day or 2 days of no social media will be extremely beneficial. But I learned a lot. Like I said, I learned a lot, and I'm happy I've done it. I probably will do it again in the future, and maybe we'll make another video on it then to see if my mindset has changed on it. So, like I said, I think you should try it. I enjoyed it. I learned a lot, and I am looking forward to getting back on social media, posting a bit more. So, yeah, that was an interesting week. There's plenty more content coming. Like I said, podcast is coming soon. We've episode 1 and 2 recorded. Episode 3 is being recorded this Sunday, and we have our first guest lined up as well, which is pretty cool. I'm excited for that. And yeah, we'll just keep going, and create and connect more than you consume. That's the final message. We'll see you in the next one.